Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I know it's been a while since we've done a video over here on Shredhead Racing, and I apologize about that, but things are a little busy, a little weird. It's going to be a while before I get like into the real groove of having two channels. I'll get it, I promise. We'll straighten it out. So this is the first video I've done for this channel for Project Motor Racing. Now, I am going to take the videos that I have on Shredhead Gaming and I am going to import them over to this channel. You know, I wanted to bring like the first look stuff over on that channel because I get more views on it. But, you know, looking ahead, I don't think I'm going to do that with racing games. I think with racing games, we're going to leave them to this channel because it occurred to me, if I get subscribers over here that I don't have over there, then they're going to miss out on that content, and I don't want that. So we'll just take the loss on the views, and yeah, we'll from now on we'll just upload all the racing stuff here to this channel. I think that'll be the best. So let's talk about Project Motor Racing a little bit before we get into the video. I'm not having great fun with the game, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and you guys can go watch my previous videos to see my opinions on that. Although those videos were prior to the day 2 patch. I think it was the patch on the second day, I believe. So my issue with the game is basically, and look, I have other issues. Okay, I have issues with the way the game was presented. I have issues with the promises that were, I guess, made with this game. You know, again, Ian Bell made it sound like this was the type of game that, you know, if you're a novice, you can jump in and you can enjoy the game. And if you're hardcore sim racer, you're going to be able to, you know, tweak the game, and, you know, everybody's going to be happy. And I disagree. I disagree with that. I feel like this game, if you're a novice, which I am, novice here, it's not that easy to get into. It's not that easy to just get into. The cars, for me, a lot of the cars are very undrivable. Maybe not undrivable. Maybe undrivable is a bad word to use. They're not fun for me to drive. I'll say that. You know, I've played ACC, I've played Le Mans Ultimate, and those are two games that I consider real sims. I've played Assetto Corsa on PC, I've played Race Room on PC, and all the cars in those games, they don't feel impossible to drive. And with this game, I don't know if they're equating very difficult with real, but at the same time, I don't feel that's a fair comparison. I don't think it's fair to say that, you know, the most realistic sim is the most difficult to play. These cars are made to go around these tracks. They should have good grip. They shouldn't be so loose. They shouldn't be so difficult to drive. I don't feel. Some maybe. Some of these cars in here, like the cars that we're going to check out today, I've never played in other games, so I don't know how they are. But like GT3 cars, LMPs, hypercars, stuff like that. You know, in other games, I just feel the handling is much better. So yeah, basically, I'm just not a fan of the handling in this game at all. But what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the two DLCs that are available right now. We have the GTE Decade Pack and we have the Group 5 Revival Pack. And I must say, thank you to the folks at Giants. They provided me with both of these DLCs. And I do have a code that I'll give away for the GTE Decade Pack. So if you guys have the game and you're interested in getting the GTE Decade Pack, I do have a code for that. I think we'll probably, I don't know how we're going to do this. I think we'll flash it up on the screen at some point. And yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll flash it up on the screen at some point, the code, and whoever gets it, gets it. If you guys want to put in the comments who got it, that'd be cool. If not, whatever, I get it. Okay, so I want to take a look at these, but also, this is something that I find funny. If we go to the downloads, oh, category, never mind. We're already in the, okay, this is the mod hub. So this is something that everybody was like, oh, mods. Oh, it's got to have mods. It's got to have mods. This game, literally, there's no mods yet available. These are all the same mods that were available when I got the game pre-launch. These are all the developers. Nobody has done anything yet with mods. These here, all of these were all here pre-launch. All these mods were here, except for the vehicle setups. This came when the game launched, and this is it. 4 mods. That's it. That's all we have. Nobody is modding this game, at least on console yet. I haven't checked over on the PC side because the game doesn't run that well for me on this PC, so not a big deal because I have it on PS5. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's check out the new cars. All right, so first up is the GTEs. We have a 2020 Aston Martin AMR Vantage GTE. We have the 2020 BMW M8. We have a 2017 Chevrolet Camaro C7R. Then we have the 2020 Chevrolet Camaro C8R. That's a beautiful car, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Then we have the 2014 Dodge SRT Viper. Then we have the Ford GTLM. And then we have the Porsche 911 RSR. So those are all the GTE cars. These are the Group 5 cars. We have the 1978 BMW 320 Turbo, 1980 Ford Capri, the Nissan Datsun 280ZX. We have the Nissan Skyline Super Silhouette, and we have the Porsche 93580. And those are the Group 5 cars. So I think the DLCs are reasonably priced. I don't remember exactly how much they cost, but I don't think they cost that much. Like I said, I did get them for free. And if you guys want the GTE pack, I will have a code for that. All right, so now that we did that, we're going to take a couple of these cars out. I believe we're going to start with the GTEs. And I forget. I think we take the Ford out first, and then we take one of the Corvettes. So let's check that out. I should say also, I'm going to be recording over that. You're going to see my face cam of me driving, but I was trying to concentrate, so I'll record over that. All right, so this is the Ford. Take a look at it here. I didn't do this with all the cars. I don't know why. I think I just forgot to, if I'm being honest. So when we get out of here, and the first two, the GTE, we'll be driving around Monza, whatever. It's not called that in the game anyway. And then the last two, I think we're driving around Spa. So I will say these cars, they're not undrivable. They're not horrible. I did enjoy driving both of these cars, actually. What I will say is the issue I have with this game is pretty much every single one of these cars, they all feel different, but they have one thing in common. It feels like you are always on the brink of losing control. Like, it literally just feels like you're never really in control of the car. That's my opinion, okay? So please, like I said, this is coming from a novice racer's perspective. You know, I'm not an expert at these games, so if you guys feel differently, that's fine. That's awesome. I don't have no issue with that. I'm not bashing the game. I'm just telling you guys how I feel about it. What these cars feel like to me compared to the other racing sims that I've played. The cars just always feel like they're on rails or on ice or something, where it just seems like, in my opinion, it's unpredictable. Like, there's times, and look at, you can sit here and you can criticize my driving all you want. I get that. You're right. I'm not the best driver. There's a lot of driver mistakes. But the difference between this game and, say, LMU or ACC, when I spin out in those games, when I make a mistake, I could tell. Oh, shit. That's me. I know what I did. I messed that up. in this game, there's times when I know that I'm like, oh, I messed up. And then there's other times that I lose control where I'm sitting there like, why did that just happen? I don't know why it just happened. Again, you can chalk that up to user experience all you want. That's fine with me. But it's just my opinion on the game that I just feel like it's very unpredictable. So here we are now in the Corvette. And again, like I said, neither one of these cars are that bad. It's kind of cool that they do drive differently, but I feel very much about this game how I did Project Cars 2. Again, there's just a lot of unpredictability with that. Like right there, like I just couldn't get that to rotate for whatever reason. And again, is it my fault? Yes, probably. But there has to be something said for the way the cars feel as well. Like you have to be getting the feeling through the wheel because that's all we have. That's literally all we have to go by. And the way I feel with these games is that if you're used to driving in other sims and then you come into this one, it's very strange. It's just very strange the way the cars feel and the way they handle. But I did like the Corvette. I do think I like the Ford possibly a little bit better. But the Corvette was a really fun car to drive as well. Okay, let's talk about the Group 5 cars. So we're going to be starting out in the Porsche. And these cars are a whole different ball game. Give me 1 second, guys. So I can't say I've ever driven these cars in another game. Maybe I have. I want you guys to hear some of the sounds of the game anyway. I want it to be so loud. But man, these cars are freaking unruly, and that's probably how they're supposed to be. I mean, some of these are pretty old. If I just take a look here really quick, what is this Porsche? This Porsche is a 1979, so it's very much possibility that these cars do drive this way, that they are that difficult to drive. But I had a hell of a time driving it. And my only issue with that is that as a novice, and if you bought this DLC and you can't drive the car that well, and this is another thing here, like look at, you can see how far I'm turning my wheel and the car just was not behaving right in my opinion. I mean, again, I know I'll probably get comments saying that no, you're just a horrible driver and you should never play these games again and blah blah blah. Okay, whatever, I get that, but literally when you're turning the wheel, the car should kind of go where you're asking it to go. Now, I should say that I calibrated this wheel. I calibrated the wheel before I did this. I don't feel like we should have to calibrate the wheel before every time we play the game. And another thing is the accelerator pedal. When you press on the gas, something is not right. And like I said, I calibrated my wheel. I calibrated everything. Something is not right because I would have the gas all the way to the floor, and it just didn't seem like it. I don't know what the deal was, but yeah, these cars here are a freaking handful. And like I said, maybe that's how they're supposed to be. I don't know. I don't have any experience driving these cars in games. So I do know that like with other sims like rally cars and stuff like that, usually the older cars are more difficult to maneuver. But I was not having fun. As you can see, I was not enjoying my time with this car in the least. So now we move on to the BMW, which that's another old car. That's a 1978. And I always like to I try two cars because maybe it's just that one car. Maybe it's not like the whole group. So I like to try several cars. I'm not going to try all of them, obviously, for the video because then it would be too long. But this is another one that it's very crazy. And like I said, some people will probably find the fun in this. I just found that they're just too difficult for me to manage. They're powerful. That goes without saying. This one controlled a little bit better. And I don't know why. I don't know why when we're doing this in like the evening, I didn't set it that way. But we get to see it another time of day. And some lighting is actually pretty nice. It's not too bad. Like here, it gets the point across. Again, I personally don't think the graphics in this game are the best. Not that it really matters, but again, it's a full price game, and that's like the biggest issue. If this was a regular racing sim that was priced $30-40, then I wouldn't be so nitpicky. But because it is a full price game, you know, I mean, it's like, come on. We don't have licensed tracks. We don't have all the licensed tracks. You know, the graphics are kind of subpar for this generation. It is what it is. I will say, I enjoyed this car more than the Porsche, which in other games, I will say Porsches are usually like real pains in the ass to drive. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it seems like you really have to learn how to drive the Porsche. So maybe that's how it is in this game. But even this car here, although it's not as bad, it's still so unruly. Which, like I said, I see right there again. Like, we just could not get that. I mean, I'm in second gear. I've never had an issue going around there like that in second gear. And again, guys, these are all just my observations. You know, you can sit there and tell me I'm absolutely wrong, and you absolutely love this car, and this is your favorite car to race in the game, and you know, cool. But I still feel that this game is not geared for people that aren't more experienced in these types of games. And like I said, you can take that however you want, because like I said, I can play LMU and I can get around the track better in any car in that game than any car in this game. So that's just kind of where we're at with it. But I will say the interiors of the cars look good. I can't say anything bad about like the interiors of the cars. And personally, and I know this has been a point of contention, but I don't think the sounds sound bad. Of course, I'm not an expert of these cars. Like, I can't sit there and tell you, you know, that was my fault. That was my fault. So don't. Okay, I get that. But as you can see, I could, if I would have done that with the Porsche, that freaking Porsche would have probably flipped over and lost control, and I'd still be spinning. So this car does handle better than the Porsche. I know I totally lost my train of thought what I was saying. That happens when you get a certain age. But yeah, the sounds. Like, I don't think the sounds sound bad, but like I said, I'm not an expert. I can't sit there and tell you exactly what, you know, a 1978 BMW 320 Turbo sounds like. You know, for those of you that can, I get you. But like I said, for me, I don't think the sounds in the game are that bad. Alright guys, so that's where we're going to end the video, and in conclusion, those are the cars and the DLC. Those are my opinions on it. Like I said, I hope they fix it. Since the patch, it is better. I have tried the hypercars. The hypercars are drivable. I can say that. You know, it's the hypercars are nowhere near as bad as they were pre-launch and even on the launch. So I think this game has a long way to go. I am really holding out for LMU. LMU is coming to console hopefully by the end of 2026, early 2027. I know that's still a very long way away. But if they can recreate what they have on PC, on console, guys, that's going to be the sim you're going to want. I'm serious. And I know that they don't have the other cars that this one has. I get that. I do understand that. But if you want good quality racing, if you want good AI, I think LMU is the way to go. But you know, who knows what we're going to get between now and then, right? You never know what's gonna come out, what hasn't been announced yet. LMU is getting a huge update next week on PC. They're getting like anti-cheat. They're getting these badges that show up where you'll know when you're racing, who you're racing. If you're racing a bad driver, you'll get a badge saying that, hey, this guy's been warned several times. This guy's, you know, he's a problem driver. You'll have badges saying that this is a good, trusted driver, clean driver. That's a really good thing to have, I think, in an online racing game. Most of the stuff that's coming in the update there is a lot online. I don't do online racing. I'm going to be honest. I'm not good enough. I'm nowhere near good enough to start trying online races. I do mess around on GT7 once in a while. I definitely want to get back into that as well. All right, guys. So that's where we're going to end this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I haven't had more content on this channel. I will work on that. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time.